Hey guys, so Christmas is officially beginning. So I am going to take this Christmas scene right here and make it even more. So I'm actually going to move everything out of this room, not the stairs, I'm going to leave those, but everything out of the room. And then I'm going to make it a living room where we will make a fireplace with stockings to hang. It'll have a mantle, um, and all the Christmas stuff. And we will put that in this room. So with my magic, I am going to move us all the way out of this room. And okay, so now we're all moved out, and I left the stairs. I could have removed those, but I decided they'll stay there. Okay, so I'm gonna go sketch out the fireplace, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so this is what the fireplace is gonna look like, and then I'll have the mantle at the top and some pieces just to give it a little bit of texture accent at the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna sketch kind of on the wall what I want. So let's see, we'll go like there and there. Yes, okay, this is what I'm gonna go with. So now is the time to measure. I measured down here, and that is about 5.5 inches down there. And the height I measured was 6 inches. Okay, so that is my measurements. This is 6 inches this way, and this is 5.5 that way. Okay, so my fireplace here is 3.5 on both these edges, and then on the top it's 3.25. So I think from the wall it's gonna come out 1.5 inches. I'm just gonna measure that just in case on the wall, because that's how far it'll stick out. And that is like perfect. So next what I'm going to do is I'm gonna measure out two pieces that are just two like strips that are going to be 6 inches tall and 1.5 inches wide. So here we go. Okay, so the top piece is going to stay the way it was. That was 1.5 inches by 5 inches. And then the bottom one will be 1 3/4 by 5. That's the first one you see closest to the main piece, which would be the front of the fireplace. The next one down is 2 inches by 5 inches, and that will be just 1/4 inch wider than the other one, so that it will give it a little bit of an accent, kind of like a little stairs. And then I don't have it showing here, but we will then make one that is 2 1/4 by 5. See, again, another 1/4 longer, and that will give it even more of an accent. So I have the top glued on, I have the sides, and I have the bottom, and I did add that extra piece down there. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the mantle. It's gonna go right up here on the top, and I'll just glue it like flat on top. So this part that I'm pointing to is about 1.5 inches, and so I'm actually going to take that and I'm going to measure it out to about here, probably there, and that'll be 2 1/4 inches, and then I think I'm gonna have it extend on the other sides too, so it'll be about 6 inches by 2 1/4. Okay, so now I'm going to get a back piece on so then you can't see right through the fireplace. So I'm just gonna lay it down on a piece of foam board, and then I'm gonna like line it up, and then I'm just gonna trace all the way around it, all like covering the whole thing. Although I'm not gonna go all the way like out where the mantle comes off, and that's about 1/2 inch it comes off, and I don't want it to go like this weird diagonal piece. So I'm not gonna trace all of that, just gonna trace around it. So then I can have this nice big square that can go around it. And if you don't wanna trace, you could measure as I'm doing here. And that is totally up to you. You can choose whatever you want to do. I'm just gonna trace it, it's a little easier for me. All right, so this is what I guess you could call the final result, but this is just the fireplace. We do have more, so let's go. All right, so here's the materials that I'm gonna be using for my stocking hangers. I just showed you I'm gonna be using my X-Acto knife. I'm gonna be using markers to give it a little color, some foam board as the base. I'm gonna use paper clips, and I'm going to use mirror scrapbook paper to give it a metallic look. So this is what I've drawn so far. I actually didn't use my ruler for this. I was just doing a little simple sketch. And I think these look pretty even to me. So I'm gonna stick with these as my stocking hanger bases. These, I'm gonna make these look like little ornaments. And then those will be glued on as decoration. That's what I'm gonna use the colors for. So I'm gonna cut these out. One is to cut out all your things. Step 2 is to color the ornaments. The third step is to cover it in the metallic scrapbook paper. And so I'm actually gonna cover these edges too, because I just want them to match the paper clips, which will be the hooks. All right, so we now have a stocking hanger base with the metallic scrapbook paper all the way around to make it look like it's made of metal. Okay, so now we are going to glue the hook with a paper clip onto the bottom of our base. So we are just going to use needle nose pliers to bend the paper clip into the hook shape that we prefer. So I am just going to take my my paper clip and I'm going to straighten it up, and then I'm going to bend one part to be what will go glued under the base, and then we will make that's what that will be, and then we will curve the bottom to make it into a hook to hold the stocking. Okay, so now our stocking hangers are complete, and this is what the hooks will look like when they are finished. And I just laid the flat part that we put to glue underneath it. I just laid that down under there, covered it in hot glue on both sides, and then I laid another piece of scrapbook paper on top of it to hold it all together. So I have 3 stocking hangers, and I colored them each differently. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sketch out what I want of the stocking, and I'm actually gonna get a marker because that might work better on my fabric. So I'm just gonna sketch it from here down, and you don't have to do it on the edge. I'm just doing it that way because I just don't want to waste a ton of fabric. Oh my goodness, that is so cute. Okay, so that's what my stocking is gonna look like. And then I might put some ruffly stuff at the top. You don't have to. So now I'm just gonna cut that out. So I'm gonna do that. It's easier off camera, so I'm gonna do that off camera, and then we'll sew. Okay, so I have used my sewing machine to sew this stocking here, and I've not yet flipped it inside out, but I do have this small edge right here, and that got a little difficult to sew, and it came sort of a corner instead of like a nice smooth edge. So I just kept going over it over and over again with my sewing machine till I got it how I wanted it. So luckily, since it'll be flipped inside out, you won't be able to notice that. And so I'm just gonna flip it inside out and see how it goes. Okay, so we have one small, nice stocking, and I would prefer them a little larger, so I'm just gonna leave this how it is and make 2 more larger ones. And I am using a wooden dowel to push this inside out because I cannot do it with my fingers. So I'm going to use a wooden dowel to shove it through. Okay, so now I've made a second one. So I'm gonna make one more. And this one will probably be the same size as this one. So I'm gonna go do that one, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have finished all 3 of my stockings. So these are the stockings that I made. I have a small one and 2 large ones. And so I need to make hooks for those. So what I'm gonna do, it's really simple. I'm just gonna take a piece of the fabric and I'm just going to loop it, and then I'm gonna glue the ends into the stocking, being careful not to glue the stocking shut. That way they'll be glued in, and then we can hang the stockings on our stocking hangers. Okay, so now that that is all done, we are all done with our crafts. So today we made a fireplace with a mantle, we made stocking hangers, and we made stockings. So now our dolls can totally deck out for the holidays. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, and thanks for watching.